yeah, it's definitely a weird feeling because my instant thought was like, how do we help with this? I was like, actually, we need to be helped this time. And it's a bit, it's a bit of a grim reality when that happens.
Hey everybody, it's Dani Valent here with you, and you are listening to Dirty Linen. I am honoured to bring you food conversations from near and far, digging into issues, meeting great people, airing the important topics, and certainly a topic that is huge in my mind at the moment is the fires that are impacting people, animals and businesses, country in Victoria. Australia is, of course, not unused to bushfires, but the scale, the impact, the relentlessness, and the exhaustion that flows from all of that is not to be denied. These are big questions. And it's really important to hear from people who are impacted. I'm actually really thrilled to be chatting to Conna Mallett from Love Shack in Castlemaine. It's a pub and brewery that I visited last year, wrote about, and really fell in love with. Love the energy of the place, and particularly, sure, the beer. The beer is good. Let's not miss the Scotch eggs and all the good food. But what I really love about the place is the strong sense of community. So it felt that Conna was the perfect person to check in at the moment around the impacts of the fires in the Castlemaine region. Conna, welcome to Dirty Linen.
Hey, how you going?
I am good, but how are you?
It's been it's not even a week yet, but it feels like it's been about a month how much work we've had to pack into this week. But we're getting through it, and the community is really getting behind each other, which is really great. And the greater community as well in Melbourne really offering a lot of support to us, and including yourself with this. And it's been overwhelming. Actually, it's really nice.
For people who might not be keeping up with the details around the fires, tell us about the impacts in your region.
There was basically a grass fire started I think it's probably about 20 k's away from Castlemaine, and then it worked its way through Harcourt, which is it's known as apple country, I think, and they there's a lot of different producers in there, wineries, and then there's a large cold store as well. But there's also other little businesses around in there as well. But there was a cold store there called Harcourt Coolstore Cooperative, and there was I think the number's around 40 different producers that utilize that cool store, and it was burnt to the ground, and among many homes. I think that's up that number keeps growing about how many homes have been lost in that fire. But for us, we lost basically all of our stock that we had on hand. We had all our packaging materials there as well, and some equipment in spare fermenters that we were looking to maybe reinstall this year, so we had more capacity. But that's, they're gone. There's a lot of people who've been really affected by them, and it doesn't seem real when it's happening, and then at the end of it all, you sort of realise that you've personally lost a lot of stuff, and it's like it really hits home hard, So. Just trying to rebuild it now and figure out ways to basically recoup. I think the number's about $250,000 worth of, stuff that we've lost, and including stock. And the best way that people can support us is by buying from us, but there's nothing to buy. So we're kind of having to reinvent ourselves a little bit with some different, not selling different things, but coming up with initiatives, which we're launching hopefully on the weekend. Hopefully that sort of gets us through so we can make more stock, because, as a small business, we're very hand to mouth with cash flow, and it gets tight a lot of weekends and a lot of weeks, and this one's no different. But just worse.
Well, it's a bit different, but different. Kind of, I want to understand more about the Cool Store, because I went there, a while ago when I was lucky enough to do a tour around the region focusing on drinks, and it's a pretty special place. But I think people perhaps don't understand, like, why do all these wineries and breweries and cider makers have all their stuff in the same big room? Like, what was the sort of mechanics of working there and using that as part of your business?
Well, it's massive for a start, and they've got all kinds of storage areas. Like, so there's dry storage, there's cold storage, there's ambient, and it's huge. It's been there. I'm not sure when it started. I want to say since the '60s, but and it was a co-op. So there was a lot of different people coming and going from there. Everyone sort of chipped in and helped out a lot. There was a few key figures, including Trevor Peeler, who has grown up there. I think he started working there when he was 13, and I think he should have retired a few years ago now, but you just kind of can't keep him away from the place. And, you know, because there are so many producers there, everyone's kind of sharing stories or helping each other out, whether it's like taking a truckload down to wherever with whoever's stock in there. It's never far away. But there's not even just like producers in there. There's there's like Gilles from Made and I, he makes his stuff there. So it's like not people aren't just like storing it. There's people that legit make their things there, and I think there's a few other people that do the same thing. There's people like storing furniture there because they when people sell their houses on real estate, whatever, they sort of dress the houses up. They've just lost everything as well. So it doesn't stop at producers so much as well. It goes further than that. So it's really it's an amazing place, like you said, and it'll be sorely missed. And I think like even just every Christmas they often do like a big Christmas party there, and they cook up a big thing, and everyone sort of goes. And that's not really what a warehouse often does, which is it is a warehouse essentially, but it does really have a real family environment there that everyone's welcome and people come and go. And whenever you're in a pinch, if you aren't necessarily a regular customer of the Coolstore, they'll always find room for you to help you out, sort of thing. And they've got a lot of heart, those people. So it's a big loss.
Yeah, I mean, I think what you're really pointing to is that a sense of community and small businesses being threaded in among one another's lives and operations. It's it sounds like the kind of place where you might learn something or get ideas, see what other people are doing, and work out where what you're doing might slot in and around it. Is that the sort of vibe?
Yeah, exactly. And, I mean, because there's multiple winemakers there, they're always, swapping stories and techniques and things like that. And when we started, we went up there and we met Trevor, and he'd seen a lot of like dreamers come and go in that place. And he was like, right, great, we'll help you out. We'll give you a crack, and we'll see how you go. And then, 5 years on, we're still going, and he's loving it. And he's like, we're going to get a bigger cool room, because that's how much stuff we end up storing there, which was great. And they did, like, they'd been expanding. They never really stopped. I think they've added 2 massive rooms since we started there. And they were, as ambitious as any of the producers making stuff. So, that's a massive shame as well, because they had, appetite for expansion, and then it's just to lose it all. I think it's like it's a very emotional thing, to lose, for a lot of the people that work there, because it's a bit of an institution.
Yeah, I think you really explain it so well, Connor. It's, when you hear Coolstore, you might think, oh, it's just a shed, but it's so much more than that. It's a really central place for community. And I think that whole region, Castlemaine and Harcourt and the other small towns around, I just love the way that everyone uses one another's products and supports one another's products. One of the businesses I was like so worried about, when you hear about Harcourt burning, was the Harcourt Farm Co-op, and Tess Seller and her micro dairy. We had her on the podcast recently, and I was relieved for, like, let's just let it be said that their farm was okay, which was such a relief. But I first came across her product at Bar Midland, a great restaurant in Castlemaine, and and you're sitting at the bar at Bar Midland, and they're telling you about all the other places in town to visit. Like, there's so much in the region, and I suppose there's healthy competition, but it feels like the support is really the thing that holds people together.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, we've got the pub as well as the brewery, and we're always trying to keep it as local as we possibly can. And that often comes to my detriment. We've probably got too many wines on the list, but just because we know so many winemakers, I'm always like, yeah, we'll put it on. That's fine, because that's the kind of the community spirit. It's like we're always trying to give each other a go. And I think the co-op was definitely one of those places that sort of harvested a lot of that. I think Henry of Harcourt, I'm not 100% sure. I think that whole cidery is gone because of the fires. And they've been doing it for, it's a generational cidery, I believe. And that's just, not there anymore. It's shocking.
Yeah, it's so shocking. And you can't just, make a producing apple tree, just like you can't just build that like you might be able to build a fence or turn the power back on. That is something that takes so much time and investment. And I suppose, I mentioned in my intro just the exhaustion, the fortitude that you need to have to pick yourself up and start again. Like, what sort of conversations are people having, Connor?
Yeah, so I think there are some conversations around rebuilding the co-op, which would be unreal, because that's the other thing. All these people now that have businesses like ours, we don't know anywhere to put product. We can't. There's not really anywhere like it in the area, and we were so lucky to have it. And price was always pretty affordable there. You pay per pallet space, and it was always pretty affordable. And now all of that is going to get more expensive, because we're either going to have to. Well, we have to take it to Melbourne now, and then we have to deliver to all of our regional customers. So it just adds so much logistical nightmares, really. So I'm really hoping they rebuild it personally, obviously. But and I think there is chat around that. But again, no one can even get in there because it's so unsafe. I haven't been able to go up there and have a look. So we haven't actually even laid eyes on our stock that's not there. So, but I've seen a lot of photos, and it's grim. You can't even really tell what's what there.
Yeah. And so what's your production process? Do you produce in Castlemaine and then you'd be taking stuff up there to store it?
So where the pub is, out the back is the brewery, and we make everything, nearly all of our beer there. And then when it's been kegged or canned, it's best to keep it as cold as possible for as long as possible, really. So that would go onto our truck, and then we'd take it up to Harcourt, and then either from there it would go out to customers, or it would go down to a warehouse in Melbourne where they would deliver all of it, or we do some deliveries as well. So now, we've kind of just got to be taking it straight down to Melbourne, but the amount that we produce, we can't fit on our truck. Often the truck can't get here fast enough to deliver it, to take it to Melbourne for us, or, all our packaging materials, because it's we haven't got much of a storage area where we would store all like empty cans or lids or sometimes grain. And we've had a lot of hops up there in storage as well, which is a very expensive ingredient, all gone. But now we've got nowhere to store that. So you have to like pick stuff up more and more often, which costs more money in fuel and whatever else. And just be a bit, it's just hard work essentially. So just trying to fix all those things is, and that's not just us, that's absolutely everyone.
And I mean, you speak about it so with such clarity around the beer production process, but, I saw a post on Instagram this morning, like someone talking about the price of lamb chops, and, hear you talking about all the extra steps that you're going to have to go through. Like there's no way you can't pass that cost on. Like I mean, you're the businessman. I don't know, but it's like, I just think, there's so many gaps in understanding around pricing and what plays into that. It's, do you feel like there'll be some hard conversations that you'll need to have around those kinds of things?
I think like we've never been, that expensive in a way. I think there's something about, maybe I'm just foolish, but we've always had like a $10 pint on at the pub that we've always loved, because we kind of want to be the place where most people can come and have a beer. And I think that at this time, that's as important as ever, that someone can come and grab something that's affordable as well. And that's pretty important to us. There probably will have to be some hard conversations in terms of how much, we will have to increase price on a wholesale point of view, maybe. But then it's such a competitive industry. Is it just you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot because it's quite difficult to keep up with bigger players in the beer industry. And like I assume it's the same for wine. But having to, be the more expensive premium products, great. But everyone's kind of hurting, whether it's a producer or if you're a pub. Like it's quite hard to make money anywhere. So you're probably going to go for the cheaper product at the end of the day if you want to try and make money. So I feel like it's a real happy medium sometimes of just like having a really good product, which we do, having a great brand, which we do, and being able to get people to trust that it's the right thing to buy for the right price. There's like it's a hard thing to measure, I think. And having it in the right places as well, that are going to respect the product is a really important thing. So yes, I think there will be some hard conversations had, but again, we really want to keep it available to the people that we want to have it in their hands. We had someone come through the pub yesterday and say that they lost their house in the Harcourt fire and can we please have a feed and a beer? And we were just like, yeah, absolutely. Like that's what a country town kind of does. Everyone gets behind each other and helps each other out, which is great. So upping the prices doesn't really seem like the country town thing to do,
I mean, Connor, let's talk more broadly about that sense of community, because I know it's such a big part of, the whole Love Shack story. Tell us about what jobs the pub does for the town and the broader community. Tell us what kind of place it is, how people use it, or how you want people to use it.
I feel, I don't know. It's a home away from home, that's for sure. And I think just our availability is because we're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. every single day. It's reliable. Everyone knows that we're going to be open as much as we can be. We close for 2 days. We closed on Christmas Day and we closed for our staff party, which was last week. And they're the only 2 days of the year we close. And people know that, and they always get wherever they're going. You'll often see people having like hard conversations in a booth. We had a first birthday party there on the weekend. That was really great. And I think, accidentally we've just become this almost, second home for a lot of people. On Friday, when the bushfires happened, we started really, really filling up, not just with humans, but with dogs and some cats in carriers and things as well, because people were being evacuated from their homes because the fires are only 9 kilometres away from the business. So that got pretty scary as well. The town couldn't go down. Anyway, we had dogs, cats, heaps of people in the pub, and we were able to operate because we had power. But then we lost our power, and we continued to operate and just have all these people in here because it was almost like a shelter for people for somewhere to go because they couldn't go home. And it was really nice. It was pretty scary and everyone was very tense, but we managed to kind of pull it together. We didn't have power from about, I think it was for 6 hours, and we just sort of stayed open for people to just be there because we had clean water and a roof essentially. But I think the role of the pub is very important for a lot of people. And I think just being available is probably the biggest thing that we are for everyone.
Well, I mean, what's that like for you? What was that day like for you as a leader, Connor? Like sort of, holding the emotions of the town in this room with no power.
Yeah, I didn't realise that was what my role was at the time because I was kind of stressing myself, that it's someone was like, everyone's worried because you seem worried. It's like, all right, let's figure this out. How are we going to get, how are we going to get through it all? And we just put some music on through a battery powered speaker and kind of lifted the vibe a little bit. And everyone, people were drinking beers, and then with the tap beer ran out, and it's like, well, let's get the esky out and we'll chuck some cans on ice and things. And the vibe got pretty fun. And then the power came back on. There was a big cheer, and we had to close up because we'd made a call because there was no power. We can't really have people in here when it's dark. It got really, really dark really quite quickly because of the fire being so close. Some big decisions had to be made. But to add to it all, I've got we live up the road, and my wife called me and said there's a snake in the backyard 6 feet away from our dog. So I had to leg it home and deal with that situation and get everyone in the car. And then we all came down to the pub and we were all there with our family and our dog as well. So it was a pretty weird day.
That's really That is a lot. And you mentioned the darkness, like people who are, close to fires or impacted directly always talk about the noise and the way the light changes. Like what was it like to be in a town so close to the fire?
It was not as smoky or crazy in Castlemaine. I think it was all sort of going the other way, but then it all did just start getting it got really close to us, and more people were getting evacuated, and it just got incredibly dark, and you kept checking your watch because it just seemed like it was nearly 10 o'clock at night. That's how sort of, grim it got. But when the wind shifted and started going the other way, everyone relaxed a lot more because it didn't seem like it was coming towards town, but it was for a really long time there. And unfortunately, it just kept burning. They couldn't get it under control. But it wasn't a very fun time. It's been really smoky the last few days, and they were saying that not to be outside for too long because of the smoke inhalation stuff. And Harcourt still don't have clean drinking water. So they've lost all their water, and I think they got power back yesterday, but they don't have clean water. And they can't drink the water there in Harcourt that's been days now. So there's a lot more sort of still happening here apart from fires.
Connor, what can we do to help?
Us personally, there's not heaps because we've got nothing to sell. I think things like this is really good, just raising awareness to everyone. There's a few charities for all the Harcourt stuff. I don't know them off the top of my head.
No, it's okay. We'll share links. But yeah,
great.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fundraisers happening. I think actually Norton's Hotel putting a fundraiser, a karma keg on for us on Friday, which is amazing. And Goldie's Tavern are doing a charity pool comp for us as well, it's just incredible. It feels quite weird to be given charity when it's so often us doing the charitable stuff. So it's lovely. It's amazing they're doing that for us. And like I said, there's a lot of fundraisers. There's a huge one at Boomtown on the Sunday, I believe. That was they raised over 60 grand, which is incredible, which went directly to the Harcourt victims. And then we'll be doing something similar in a month or so, and we're sort of hopefully back on our feet. So there's lots of stuff popping up everywhere. There's even the tattoo shop in town's doing a massive flash day here in February as well, which is pretty amazing. And heaps of people are donating time, and there's heaps going on. It's great.
It is. I mean, you're so right. It's your pubs and restaurants, hospitality in general, are so often the ones raising money. And I understand it must feel strange to be the likely recipient of funds that are raised for you. But it should be like that.
Yeah, it's definitely a weird feeling because my instant thought was like, how do we help with this? I was like, actually, we need to be helped this time. And it's a bit, it's a bit of a grim reality when that happens. When that hits you, you're just kind of like, shit. That's, we need to put our own oxygen mask on at this point and hopefully, be able to help other people put their oxygen mask on at the end of it.
Well, I'm sure even in amongst it, Connor, and as you've said, in that dark room in the pub, you are already helping people. And I'm really grateful to you for sharing your story at, this time. It's pretty raw, and I'm sure you got so much going on, but thanks for coming on the pod for a chat, and I wish you all the best in restarting. I certainly look forward to a few pints to help put some money back in the kitty and keep the beautiful Love Shack dream rolling.
Oh, thanks so much, Dani, and thanks for having me. I hope that all made sense. It's hard to make sense of it all.
It makes all the sense it needs to. All right, I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks.
This is Dirty Linen, and I'm Dani Valent. We air the issues that the hospitality industry finds hard to talk about, hearing from different people with unique perspectives. We want to hear from you as well. If you have something that needs to be said about a topic, get in touch so we can include your perspective. Contact us at dirtylinen@deepintheweeds.com.au or hit us up on Insta at Dirty Linen Podcast. We can't wait to hear from you.
This is a Deep in the Weeds production.